Thanksgiving dinner, my grandmother asked me, what the heck is this Bitcoin stuff anyway, right? And I said to her, do you remember when Visa cards first came out? You were used to paying with cash or with a check, and then a Visa came out. It was this weird payment system that you didn't understand. And she said, yeah, I remember that. I said, well, Bitcoin is just the next evolution of another payment system.
Brace yourself, Nakamoto was the foundation.
What up guys, Nakamoto Crypto here. Bitcoin is still exploding right now, hitting as high as $23,700, and one CIO of asset management giant Guggenheim Investments is now predicting that this market cycle could go as high as $400,000 per BTC. Stay tuned, like and subscribe. Let's get to 400 subscribers. Global head of investment at the $270 billion asset management giant firm Guggenheim Investments says that BTC should be right now valued at $400,000. In a new interview on Bloomberg, Scott Minerd says that the firm's fundamental analysis shows that the leading cryptocurrency is massively undervalued, by stating that we have made a decision to start allocating Bitcoin when Bitcoin was valued at $10,000 just a few months ago. It's a little more challenging with the current price being above $20,000. It's amazing over a short period of time how big of a pump we have had. But having said that, our fundamental work shows that Bitcoin should be worth about $400,000. We're going to monitor the market and see how the trading goes, but ultimately we want to buy it. The CEO Minerd points to the total supply cap of 21 million BTC and the fact that it's a purely internet-based monetary payment network system and its ability to store value as the core reasons for this analysis, by stating that it's based on scarcity and relative valuations such as things like gold as the percentage of the GDP. Bitcoin actually has a lot of the attributes of gold. At the same time, it has an unusual value in terms of transactions. Guggenheim Investments recently announced that it's preparing to invest as much as $500 million into Bitcoin through the Grayscale Investment Trust. On the same token, Bitcoin's last all-time high was 3 years ago. What has changed since then? So back in late 2017, Bitcoin's price reached as high as $20,000. This record has been surpassed yesterday, revealing how stronger the cryptocurrency got over the last 3 years. The experts have noted that, now recognized by both the general public and the institutional investors around the globe, Bitcoin might be primed for a very bright future. As exactly 3 years ago, Bitcoin reached its historical all-time high price of nearly $20,000. Today, the cryptocurrency has not only beaten its previous all-time high, but went way above it, settling right now at the $23,000 mark. So what has changed since then? From a technical standpoint, not very much has changed, but from an infrastructure and market perspective, it's a brand new world out there for Bitcoin. Many people don't realize that Bitcoin is fundamentally the same from a technical standpoint of view in 2020 as it was back in 2017. It will be the same 3 years from now and beyond. It is not designed at the base layer to be tampered with or have features added onto it or changed to a different form. This is according to Jason Dean, the analyst at Quantum Economics. What also has changed, however, is the perception of Bitcoin. Namely, both regular people and big corporations alike have begun to look at it as a way to protect their funds against devaluation, as powerful and influential players have openly acknowledged that Bitcoin has therefore become the smart play of 2020 and beyond. Speaking to Decrypt, Emiliano Grodzki, the CEO and CSO at Bitcoin mining company Bitfarms, explains that global crypto markets today are a far cry from what they were back in late 2017. Apart from some serious infrastructural development, the last 3 years have helped to separate the wheat from the chaff. Since the original all-time high of 2017, 36 months have gone past, and these were 36 months of market maturations and constructions. The space has been professionalized ever since. Also, all initial coin offerings that were launching during the 2017 all-time high have pretty much failed, according to Grotsky. Grotsky also noted that very few companies stood firm during this transition. Only those that wanted to seriously build their long-term business models remained, but also believed in the future of BTC, and that has lasted 3 years. Nick Carter tweeted that he was just looking through his notes from back in 2017, and it's striking how much he had to spend explaining why Bitcoin would endure but token offerings would fade away. There was this ever-present and ugly undercurrent to the market, totally different today. He feels so relieved. Nick goes on to say, now there is still a lot of malinvestments and craziness in the crypto space, but absolutely less than what it was back in 2017. I have spent most of 2017 in shock about how out of hand the ICO bubble was. He asserted that a key difference with today's bull run is that back in 2017, Bitcoin's rally was entirely driven by retail customers. Investors were distracted by the global economic boom at the time, where they could allocate their capital, and were skeptical of Bitcoin's fundamentals. Grotsky noted that the total monetary base of the US dollar has 20% issued this year alone. Meanwhile, the pandemic has unmasked the reality of how governments solve fiscal deficit problems by stating that we will see if next year a US dollar bill will have the same purchasing power that it has today. Grotsky asserted by adding that Bitcoin is not only the best store of value, but it is also a trustworthy machine, and this is just the beginning. At the moment, the future is looking bright for Bitcoin. After this year's halving, the crypto's stock to flow has doubled. This means that the projected market value could increase tenfold if history repeats itself, and this will translate to a $50,000 per BTC by the end of Q1 of 2021. This is according to the CEO of crypto exchange CEX.io, Konstantin Anisimov. Given the increasing demand from institutional investors who are looking to hedge against inflation, the flagship cryptocurrency could double in price within months after achieving such a milestone, which will help it to surpass $90,000 by the end of 2021. So there might be several key reasons why Bitcoin's price has been sharply rising lately, and institutional investors as well as the general public's support is one of these big factors. As Bitcoin continues to rise, these economists are now calling it a massive bubble again. Bitcoin's potential as an emerging safe haven alternative to gold raised its demand amongst institutional players in 2020, but a prominent economist is still skeptical about the cryptocurrency's recent growth. David Rosenberg, the chief strategist at Toronto-based Rosenberg Research and Associates, said in an interview with Bloomberg that Bitcoin is a massive bubble right now. He criticized the cryptocurrency for having zero evidence about its future supply curve, noting that it's nothing but an extremely crowded trade, by stating that the one thing we know about gold, we know the supply curve of gold with certainty. Mr. Rosenberg explained that we don't know the future supply curve of Bitcoin. People think that they know, but they don't really know. So what pumped Bitcoin recently? The statement appeared hours after Bitcoin established a new record high of $23,776, following a breakout on Thursday above its psychological resistance barrier of $20,000. The cryptocurrency caught global attention once again for its limited supply of 21 million coins that gave its qualities of another scarce asset. The enthusiasts projected that Bitcoin is a hedge against inflationary fiat currency models that focused on unlimited money printing. After the US dollar fell by almost 12% in global foreign exchange markets, led by the US government's $2.3 trillion C-19 pandemic relief package, investors started taking Bitcoin's anti-fiat narrative seriously. As a result, the cost to purchasing one Bitcoin surged from $3,858 just this year in March of 2020 to as high as $23,776 a few months later, right now, and that is a 516% increase. Meanwhile, The Economist received backlash from the Bitcoin community for failing to understand the cryptocurrency economics. One crypto trader replied to this Economist by stating that when people with this much resources, advisors, economists, and experience on their hands still can't understand the concept of protocol decentralization and the necessity of hard forks, well, we're still good. And these people will never understand the concept of Bitcoin and what it carries behind it. Like the video, share, subscribe for some daily crypto content. I have been Mr. Nakamoto Crypto, and out.
Bitcoin under $8,000.
Buy it.
Bitcoin under $5,000.
Buy it.
Bitcoin over $10,000.
Buy it.
Bitcoin is over $20,000.
Buy it.
Bitcoin under $8,000.
Buy it.
Bitcoin under $5,000.
Buy it.
Bitcoin is over $10,000.
Buy it.
Bitcoin is over $20,000.
Buy it.
Best performing asset in the last 10 years. True. Look into crypto, we need volunteers. No need to tiptoe, it won't disappear. Do your research, history made it clear.